Happy Easter to everyone. And our Easter celebrations have had a fairly heavy round of prayer and liturgy. And in that liturgy we have seen many symbols. We have the candle, Easter candle, we have water, we had fire, we had oil, and all these things are important. This is Mission Alive. I'm Roger from the MSC Mission Office. All these symbols and our liturgy have come out of a long history and the interaction of the church with many different cultures at different times and places. Even the date of Easter is set around the Mediterranean climate and the Mediterranean year. And originally in a pagan Greek culture there was the Feast of Brumalia, and this celebrated the new life of spring. So it was warmer, the days were longer, the new life of nature, planting of crops, or the budding of crops. So it was all about new life. So it was obvious for the church to put the feast of Easter with the resurrection and the light and the water at this time. And so that feast became our Easter feast and our Easter time. And so you have many things like that. Now the fire and the light came out of pagan Germanic culture, where they had a feast with fire and light. And the church took that and literally baptized it and made it a ritual for us, for the church. And so this goes on throughout history, and as the church interacts with many different cultures. And this process is also called inculturation, where not only does the gospel come into a culture and penetrate into the culture, but it takes things from the culture and marries the two together. And so we get a richer understanding of Christianity. It's like the names or the images we give to Christ, to Jesus. In Jewish culture, he was the Messiah. Now when you went to Greek culture, they knew nothing about any Messiah, but they had the light. People were always looking for light, for understanding. They had the word was important, so the logos, the word, became important. And so on through history. In different cultures, Christ took on a different face. In the Melanesian culture, he's very much the chief, or the big man, because these were the leaders, these are the leaders of the people. And so we get this adaptation throughout history. And this is part of what mission is, in bringing the gospel, in proclaiming the good news to different people. We meet with different cultures and we interact with that culture. And as the people themselves take on the word of God, take on the church, they bring with them their culture. And so they too, in their own lives, individual lives and community lives, they marry the two together. And this has been a process throughout history, which has given us the richness of the Easter celebrations. The readings, the long readings coming from the Hebrew scriptures, our own Christian scriptures, the stories that the Christian communities repeated, and they come out this week. The women at the tomb, Peter on the steps of the temple curing a man. All of these are part of our tradition, part of our story. Sometimes this does not fit very well with different places and different cultures. For instance, this feast of Brumalia, the spring, the new life in the Mediterranean world, well, at the moment we're heading into winter. It's going to be colder and darker. Maybe better if we shifted Easter to September, when we're coming into spring. And in some countries, with tropical countries, parts of Africa and the Pacific, Papua New Guinea, as wet and dry season. You don't have the same seasons. And often in Papua New Guinea, when you're having Easter, it's middle of wet season. And almost invariably your Easter fire gets washed out because you also have the full moon. And Easter is determined, the time of Easter is determined by the fourth full moon after Christmas, and then you shift it to the nearest Sunday. So invariably you have a full moon, and in the tropics, in the wet season, when there's a full moon, almost invariably you have rain. These are all part of who we are as church. This is all part of how we preach the good news. We evangelise people, and this is mission. And it is very much still alive in our world today. Thank you.